Okay, we're live.
We're live. We're not ready yet.
I don't see the little red light.
Look, we're live.
We are live. Oh, come on,
We're live.
Okay, guys, let's get started.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Tinsel.
And Sprinkles.
And welcome to our Christmas 2020... What are these things called again?
I think it's called a podcast?
It's a podcast. Let's go, fellas. We've got kids watching us live.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we're here now with our Christmas 2020 podcast.
And we're here to read you one of our favorite Christmas stories that we all tell up here in the North Pole.
That's right. And the story we've chosen to tell you today is The Christmas Tulip.
I love that story.
I know.
I don't.
Glitzy.
But every elf knows that story.
Yes.
It's so old.
Every elf knows the story.
We all know the story, but they don't. They've never heard it before.
Yeah, we're telling everyone out there a story they have never heard before.
Okay, go ahead and tell it. I'll be over here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so here we go, everybody. Welcome to The Christmas Tulip.
Once upon a time, in a faraway land called New Orleans.
New Orleans? Has it been around for over 300 years?
By elf standards, that's pretty new.
Oh,
May I continue?
you may.
Thank you. Once upon a time, in a faraway land called New Orleans, there lived a wonderful gardener named Camille.
Camille was celebrated for her magnificent tulips, which grew all around her uptown home.
Throughout the year, the folks of New Orleans would visit her home to enjoy an endless celebration of brightly colored tulips. Camille's flowers made everyone so happy.
Her tulips bloomed from the early spring until the beginning of winter. Once the days grew short, Camille's tulips stopped blooming. Even though it was the Christmas season, the people of New Orleans always missed seeing Camille's flowers, and the season grew a little darker and a lot colder.
Camille had always tried to make her beloved tulips grow and bloom during the winters in New Orleans. But despite her hard work, she just couldn't make them grow.
Then, in one really hard year, when a mysterious disease descended upon the entire city, Camille the gardener found herself very worried that a winter without her tulips would be too much for her friends and neighbors to take. She worried so much that she began to cry because she didn't know how to make things better for everyone. In a moment of despair, she prayed.
If only I had a way to show everyone that there is hope for better days. Oh, how I wish I could make everything better for my friends.
That year, when the cold weather came, Camille looked out onto her gardens. The tulips had stopped blooming, and her gardens were barren. It made her very sad to know that her tulips wouldn't bloom and make everyone she loved so happy once again. So, she set out to find something, anything, that would bloom in the winter chill.
Camille bundled herself up in her heavy coat and a long scarf and went out to visit her friend James, who had a tulip shop on the other side of town.
When she arrived, she asked James,
Mr. James, my gardens are barren, and all my friends are saddened with this mysterious disease. What can I do to make things better?
Mr. James said,
Well, Miss Camille, I don't have any regular tulips that will bloom now. However,
Mr. James reached down below the counter and produced a large bulb wrapped in a delicate golden material unlike anything Camille had ever seen. It seemed to glow with life. Mr. James told her,
just this morning, a man dressed all in red came and dropped off this enormous bulb. He said it was a special kind of tulip, and it was just looking for the right garden in which to grow.
Oh, my.
Camille exclaimed as she picked up the enormous bulb.
It's so unusual, so different, so magical. How much do you want for it?
And Mr. James said,
Well, it was a gift, Miss Camille, and so I make it a gift for you.
Oh, thank you, Mr. James. Thank you. I will go home right now and plant this bulb in my front yard. Thank you, and Merry Christmas.
So Camille went back home and instantly planted this strange and unusual bulb right in front of her home. Just as she was finishing up, the air turned much colder, and a mighty wind came up from the north, chilling her to the bones. She rushed inside to warm herself by her fire, hoping that the unusual bulb would bloom.
That night, the weather turned bad, and a rare snowstorm began falling across New Orleans, covering everything in a blanket of freezing white. It was Christmas Eve, and all across the city, people sheltered from the cold. But beneath the ground, things were happening.
The unusual bulb had been planted nearby all the other tulip bulbs that refused to grow in the cold. One of these bulbs, whose name was Eldon, spoke to the new addition.
Well, look at this. The gardener certainly planted you at the wrong time.
Well, what do you mean?
Asked the bulb.
Mean it's winter. No real tulip grows in the winter. We all resting until the month of spring. You'd be lucky to survive the icy snow, much less bloom. Right, everyone?
That's rich.
But the bulb said, I will grow. I can feel it happening already.
Oh, sure you can. Tulips don't grow in the winter, don't you know that? It's too cold, too dangerous, you don't have a chance.
Oh, yes, I do. I can feel it happening now. The cold doesn't bother me. The snow doesn't bother me. I will bloom, regardless of what you say. I know it.
Go ahead and try, silly bulb.
Thanks.
You'll wilt before you ever make it to the surface, and even if you do, the snows above will stop anyone from seeing you bloom. You're a big fool, big bulb.
But the enormous bulb continued on as all the other tulips fell asleep beneath the wintry snow. The bulb continued to grow, feeling a deep warmth that kept telling it to grow and bloom as soon as it could. Deep inside, the bulb felt that special mission to come up and make its flowers seen.
I will grow,
The bulb continued to say.
I will grow and bloom. The gardener planted me here for a reason, and I will do what I am meant to do.
And so, throughout the cold, cold night, the bulb continued to grow at an amazing pace. The snow above was piling up atop the ground, but the bulb refused to stop. From deep inside the bulb, a miraculous warmth came and warmed the ground all around it, sending out an energy that made the other bulbs turn around and begin to stir.
And as the sun rose on Christmas Day, the gardener Camille stepped outside onto her front porch with a cup full of steaming hot chocolate to see the new fallen snow. But when she saw what had happened, she dropped her cup of hot chocolate onto the porch like that.
What she saw was her usually bare winter gardens now suddenly filled with brightly colored tulips, standing tall against the snow, filled with pinks and yellows and purples. And there, at the very front of the garden, she saw a tall, magnificent red bulb, bigger than all the others, glowing with life in the middle of the winter snow.
She also saw all of her friends and neighbors coming down the street in their winter coats and masks, which guarded against the mysterious disease. Their eyes filled with wonder and amazement at the glorious scene.
And Camille the gardener felt a rush of warmth at seeing everyone coming out in the cold, snowy weather to visit her gardens. She smiled as they all called out,
Oh, they're beautiful, Miss Camille.
That big red tulip is spectacular, Miss Camille.
How did you do it?
They all cried, and Miss Camille said,
It was a gift, my friends. A wonderful gift from Mr. James and a strange man dressed all in red, just like our new tulip here, our Christmas tulip.
And so, Camille the gardener's home soon became the center of activity that marvelous Christmas Day, with people from all over coming out to see the miracle of the Christmas tulips.
Throughout the day and into the evening, visitors and new friends arrived to celebrate and enjoy the heartwarming miracle.
And everyone that came brought pans of food and bottles of good drinks, making the entire day a big Christmas party. Even with their masks, everyone was happy again.
Celebrations lasted for all the 12 days of Christmas, with the big red tulip beaming brightly throughout the season.
And so, that is the story of the Christmas tulip. And what have we learned today?
We've learned that no matter how difficult things may seem, we can all bloom and shine.
And we've learned that the holidays can be transformative.
And we've learned that the magic of the holiday season can change things for the better.
Well, that's our story. We certainly hope you enjoyed this classic elf story.
And from all of us to all of you,
Happy holidays and Merry Christmas!
Everyone.
Oh. Bye.
Bye.
okay,
Okay.
Glitzy.
Oh,
Is it still on?
eggnog.
It's still...